Hey kids, yesterday I found this sick list that topped like a Swiss regional or something. It was Ghoti using a Salt Mode package to get to Ariane posts more often, and I figured I would try it out. But then as I played with it more, I kept finding things I didn't like, and I kept making changes more and more until eventually it kind of morphed into this because Stardust Assault Mode is impossibly cool, and it removing itself from your field to activate its effect is really nice, given that this deck is very consistently putting up Deep Beyond. And Deep Beyond banishes all your interaction as well, unfortunately. Anyway, I enjoyed it so much that I have like 8 replays to show you featuring decks of varying degrees of competency. So here's the basic like 2-card setup that gets you pretty much everything you need. You start with E-Telly, and E-Telly is going to get you Psyreflector. Psyreflector is going to be grabbing Assault Beast, and then Assault Beast is going to be grabbing you Activate, which we're going to show to our opponent to summon the Assault Beast and increase its level to level 5. Now we make Ariane Post. Ariane Post here is going to be banishing a copy of either Shift or Paces, whichever one you have it drawn. Then we'll normal summon Paces, make Ass Dragon, and here we're going to chain block the Ass, which is really sick. So we get to summon back Paces, banish Ariane Post, and grab Ixeep, and then Ixeep is going to activate to special summon itself. We'll set Assault Mode activate and pass. During our opponent's standby phase, Shift returns. Then let's just say they do something. We can tag Ass out for regular Stardust, and then immediately synchro it using our dead Tuna and Ixeep for Ariane Posts. They're going to grab something, who cares? We're going to activate Ariane Post, and because it was summoned by Ass Dragon, they can't interact with this, they can't negate it. So we're free to banish Zep. And then Zep's going to summon itself and trigger a Synchro summon. And we're going to go ahead and tag this Stardust out for Assault Mode. Then we'll make Ascon. In a new chain, we'll chain block the Ariane Post again. Ariane Post is going to be banishing itself, and then Ascon is going to be banishing itself, as well as any card that our opponent has. And here we'll be grabbing Snopios. Then in a new chain, Ascon is going to banish Paces to summon itself. And we still have our Assault Mode negate. So we'll go ahead and fire that off whenever. And if our opponent commits to anything, if we feel like we have to, we can just go ahead and fire off Deep Beyond, which will banish the whole field. And we've still got Snopios for follow-up. So off of that simple 2-card, we got a lot of value. And that's just the setup that gets you to Stardust Dragon Assault Mode. There are other, obviously you don't need to get to Assault Mode, but if you do, it's just so insanely cool. So, not showing that off here. And of course, during the end phase, Assault Mode comes back. And during the standby phase, Deep Beyond comes back. And so does one of our tuners. And from here, it's a simple hop, skip, and a jump to lethal. For our first game, we'll be going up against Time Lord Burn. We haven't opened any of our tunas, so we're going to have to rely on the Assault Mode part of the deck to get us to our engine. So here we'll be making Ariane Post using a level 5 beast, and then we'll banish Shift. Then we'll just add Most Distant Deepest Depths, bluff set, an Assault Mode activate, and pass. During their standby phase, Shift will come back, and they'll try to duster the field, but given that it's literally just Assault Mode activate, I don't care. Distant Deepest Steps does protect itself. They're going to normal summon Michion, activate Savage Coliseum, set the Rivalry in main 1 because they're bad, I guess. Anyways, they're going to attempt to go to battle phase, so we're going to go ahead and Valor that Michion to prevent it from really doing anything, and they're going to have to attack anyways because of their Savage Coliseum. They'll gain 300 after taking 500, and during the attempt to leave main 2, we're going to Quick Sync into Ascon. Chainlink 1 is going to be Arion Post, Chainlink 2 is going to be Ascon, so here we are going to search Ixip. Then in a new chain, we'll banish Shift and to summon back Ascon, and then summon Ixip. So during the end phase, Savage Coliseum won't be destroying anything. Here we'll be special summoning Shift, and then we'll Synchro into Arion Post. Arion Post is going to be banishing a copy of Paces. We'll normal summon Zep, and then Synchro off for Ascon, banishing the Michion so that we can get into something real. We'll banish the Snopios for Distant Deepest Steps to add Ixip, which allows us to banish an Ixip Engrave to add Snopios back, and we're just going to go to battle phase. This isn't lethal, but it puts our opponent extremely low, and we've got more than enough disruption and rotation thanks to the Snopios being able to banish this Zep at instant speed. We're just going to pass turn. During the end phase, nothing gets destroyed, but because Savage Coliseum sucks ass, we'll special summon Paces and Shift from the banish pile. They're going to normal summon Sandion and attempt to go to battle phase, but we'll just go ahead and make Ghoti the Deep Beyond, summon back our Ascon, and our opponent will concede. For our next game, we'll be up against a Bakura role player playing Karibo Fiend Pile Destiny board. We haven't drawn the Assault Mode half of the deck, but that's fine. We've got more than enough gas. We're going to pitch the Extraneous Ash for Supe Duskwalker, and then make Arion Post, which will be banishing Paces. We'll be tagging Be Tuneful for Shift, and then make Ass Dragon. Ass Dragon is going to banish, is going to bring back Shift and chain block the Arion Post, which will be grabbing Ixip, which will special summon, set called by, and pass. This is an insane board. We're going to summon back the Paces. They're going to set Dark Sacrifice, Summon Limit, and then normal summon Tour Guide. By the way, at the start of this turn, in the chat, all caps, they like write out a laugh and then like, my turn. And so at this point, based on the name, the normal summon, and the fact that they set 2 beforehand, I'm just going to I think it's reasonable to assume that, that my opponent is in fact just a, like, actual child role-playing. So I'm going to Ash the Tour Guide on the assumption that they probably don't have much else. Then on the attempt to leave main, we'll go ahead and tag Ass Dragon out for Stardust, and then make Arion Post. Arion Post is going to banish Zep, which will bring itself back, and tag with Arion Post into Ascon. Arion Post is going to banish itself, and Ascon's going to banish this back row. We're going to search Snopios. Ascon's going to banish Shift to summon itself, and during our standby phase, Shift will return. They're going to activate Summon Limit, but that's fine, because we can make Barone in 2. That'll pop the Summon Limit, we'll activate Snopios, and they'll concede. For our next game, we'll be up against Slifer Numeron. They're playing God Support, they're playing Numeron. They're on Ice Barrier, they're on Numeron Chaos Ritual. It's Slifer Numeron. We all know it, nobody likes it. It is what it is. We'll be going first, so we're going to activate the Most Distant Deepest Steps, and our opponent's going to shotgun Numeron Wall. Most Distant Deepest Steps is going to resolve. We'll activate Supe Duskwalker, pitching this Paces to make Arion Post. Arion Post is going to banish Shift, and then that'll let us summon Ixip. We're going to activate Distant Deepest Steps to banish the Paces and add Snopios, and then Tuneful Princess is going to tag out for another Paces. Here I flub the Ass Dragon play. I accidentally target Paces with Arion Post, so I don't get a search, but that's fine. Shift is going to summon itself in standby. Paces is going to summon itself in standby. Our opponent's going to activate Network, summoning 4 guys from the deck, and that will then they'll immediately convert it into Avermax. During the attempt to leave main, we'll tag into Stardust and Arion Post. Arion Post here is going to banish Paces. We're going to activate Shift to turn all of our Tunos into Ghoti the Deep Beyond, which will banish the entire field, and we'll search a copy of Lifeless Leaffish. Snopios is going to, at the attempt to leave the turn, banish 2 to target itself after it's summoned, so it'll be banished when it leaves the field. We'll summon back our Paces and our Deep Beyond, and then we will go ahead and Synchro into Dragite to beat the back row. We're going to activate Snopios, banishing a guy to add itself back. We're going to banish Shift to give Deep Beyond some attack. We're going to use Leaffish to send Zep, and then Distant Deepest Steps to banish an Ixeep to add an Ixeep, which will special summon itself. And if we can get over this monster just fine, we have exactly lethal. They're going to Ice Barrier, but will negate with Dragite. They flip a Morphing Jar, so we're going to be drawing 5. We're going to activate Leaf Fish, and they're going to Ice Barrier to get Guardian Slime, but they don't add it to hand, so we have exact lethal through the sets. For our next game, we'll be going up against Advanced Crystal Beast, I think. It's definitely some flavor of Crystal Beast. Whether this is a build focused more on the advanced, I don't know. I assume it is, given that I'm looking at an Amber Man with an Amethyst Cat, but I don't. Admittedly, I just don't know. We're going to activate Terraforming to grab the most distant deepest steps, then Super Duskwalker to pitch it and summon itself and Super, then we'll make Ariampos. Ariampos here is going to attempt to banish, but they have the Imperm. No worries, it is what it is. We're going to activate most distant deepest steps, banishing the Snopios. I don't like doing this because we don't have a fish, so this Snopios is going forever, but it is what it is. We can still play through this. We're going to activate Ariampos and Astragon, summon back the Shift, and add Ixeep. Ixeep is here going to summon itself, and we're going to banish the Shift to add back the most distant deepest steps. During the standby phase, our tuner will come back, and we have pretty much everything we need here. They're going to Rainbow Bridge for Crystal Bond, then activate Cobalt Eagle to grab Advanced Arc, then they're going to Crystal Bond, but we have the Ash for that. They'll normal summon Carbuncle, and I'm okay with them going to combat here. I just completely forget that CVRD has more text on it than its Spell Trap effect. So, big punish there. We are going to lose the Ass Dragon, but we have the most distant deepest steps, so we are pretty much fine. We can recover. We're going to banish the Ixeep to add an Ixeep, which will special summon the Ixeep, which allows us to make another copy of Ariampos, which will banish a Paces. Then we'll banish Shift to give Ariampos a little bit of extra attack. We'll punch into the Carbuncle, but for some reason this is Giant Ballpark, so they're milling Tortoise during the standby phase. Our tuners will come back, and now we've got all the gas in the known universe. During the attempt to leave main, we'll make Ascon, triggering both Ariampos and the Ascon to banish the CVRD and add Lifeless Leaf Fish. Then we'll summon back the Ascon by banishing Ixeep, and during another attempt to leave main, we'll make Ghoti the Deep Beyond, banishing the entire field. They've got nothing, so we are pretty much free to just kill them. We're going to banish Shift to give Deep Beyond extra attack. We're going to summon Leaf Fish. Leaf Fish is going to send a card. We're going to banish Paces for Ixeep, which will special summon itself, and this is 8,000 exactly. Next up, we'll be going up against Pure Volcanic with the new support out of the new Duelist pack. Unfortunately, we have drawn Assault Mode, so even though we have E-Telly, it's not going to do us much good here. We are going to activate E-Telly in draw phase for Psy Reflector in case of Droll. I got Drolled like once at locals, and I've taken so much psychic damage from it that I've started playing around it more. They're going to Veiler the attempts of Psy Reflector to summon back Beast. So we're going to pitch the Assault Mode activate for Super Duskwalker to make Ariampos, which will banish Paces, and summon Ixeep. We'll just go to end phase because we don't have a good use for Psy Reflector, so it'll get banished. Paces is going to summon itself back, and they're going to Extrav, banishing 6, and they draw into Blaze Accelerator. And I make a big mistake here. This is going to cost me a lot of resources, but I mean, it is what it is. They have the call by anyway. They're going to Blaze Accelerator to pop Ixeep. We're going to tag Ixeep into Ariampos, and this is the mistake I made. This sends regardless of whether the target is still in the field. So even though we get to banish the Zep and make the Ariampos, we are still going to lose our field. Thankfully, we have Snopios to salvage this, but otherwise this would have been an extraordinarily rough game. So we're going to summon the Zep, and then Zep is going to tag with Snopios into a copy of Ascon. Ascon is going to banish itself in Blaze Accelerator, and Snopios is going to add itself back. Ascon's going to summon itself back. They're going to normal the Volcanic Rocket and add Volcanic Blaze Accelerator, but they're only on one Blaze Accelerator, and they drew it, so they can't activate the effect. We're going to summon back Paces, and then make Adrian, which I think is just an absolute house against Volcanic. We're going to punch over the Rocket and pass turn, no real reason to commit to anything more. They're going to activate Fire Rejection and send Volcanic Emperor to give us a bomb token, and then normal summon Volcanic Rimfire. They're going to activate Volcanic Emperor, and we will chain Snopios. We're going to get burned for a metric ton, and they're going to set Volcanic Inferno. Snopios here is going to be banishing Zep and Ariampos to summon itself, and then target itself. So in a new chain, Zep is going to summon itself, and then Ariampos is going to banish to summon itself. So here we get to activate Zep to make another Ariampos, and unfortunately this one will get stranded in the banish pile. We're going to banish the Zep to get back Snopios, which unfortunately does lose out on the on the Zep as well. Those are just going forever, but I feel like with an Adrian established, I don't think we can really lose. And then they run it Doomfire into something, and I really should have activated this Adrian, but I was so scared of the unknown set. Turns out it was called by, I was completely fine, but Adrian is unable to protect the field, but thankfully they mill air. So we're going to summon back Paces, and then Synchro summon into Ghoti the Deepion. They're going to Valor it when we attempt to go to battle phase, but Tribute Summon Snopios gets us there. They're going to activate Inferno, will banish with Adrian, and now we have game. For our next game, we'll be up against Snake Pit. Looks like they're on a much more generic pile of just reptile synergies. I don't really agree with this. I think that playing like the aliens, it's just not correct, like at all. But you know, aliens and reptilians, they have some very appealing cards. I understand the draw. Anyways, they're going to be going first. They're going to activate Ramifications, pitching Kid to search a monster and spell trap. They grab Coatl and Spawn. Alasia is going to equip Kid, and they're going to normal summon Coatl. Then they're going to make Echidna, banish the Coatl for 2 tokens. They're going to make Zerol, and I know to Valor this, so that's the turn. Nice deck. Anyways, we are going to normal summon Cyreflector. Cyreflector is going to grab Assault Beast. Assault Beast here is going to grab Assault Mode Activate. We're going to reveal Assault Mode Activate to summon back Assault Beast as a level 7. And hard make Stardust Dragon. We're going to punch over the Reptilian token, set Assault Mode Activate, and pass. During draw phase, Stardust Dragon Assault Mode. Our opponent's going to activate Reptilian Recoil and fire Ramifications, discarding the last card in their hand. Will negate and destroy Ramifications, and then Stealth Buster is going to put some counters on Zerol, but that really does nothing. During the end phase, Assault Mode comes back, and we are pretty much just completely free to go off. We're going to normal summon Cyreflector, add the second Assault Mode Activate, and then reveal it to get a level 5 Beast, which gets us to Arion Post, which banishes Paces. We're going to walk over the Zerol and get in for 2100. And then activate the most distant deep steps after setting 2, just because. This is, by the way, a version of the list a very early version of the list that was on Ghoti Chain. They're going to activate Recoil to attempt to steal Paces, but we will negate and destroy with Assault Mode. They're going to normal summon Alien Dog, and I know that does nothing, so we're just going to go ahead and ask on that, just to get it out of there, just to really cement that we've probably won the game. We'll banish Paces to summon back Ascon, and then the Ixape that we search will special itself, and during the end phase, Assault Mode returns. And we just have lethal. There's no real reason to play this out, but playing it out's funny. So we're going to go ahead and make Hyper Librarian, another card that we cut after some testing, but we have game now. For our next game, we are up against a deck that you wouldn't know looking at it. This is Runic Naturia, but unfortunately they just didn't draw any of their Naturia cards. Which is a shame, but I mean, hey, we take those. We are going to be on the draw, unfortunately. They're going to activate Fountain and then Destruction to special summon Hugin. Hugin is going to pitch MCL to add Fountain, and they're just going to pass. We are going to fire E-Telly, which will get us Cyreflector, which will attempt to get us a copy of Assault Mode Activate. I misclicked, by the way. I should not have done this. I should have added Beast, but I misclicked and grabbed the Soul Mode Activate. Anyways, we'll fire the second utility for Cyreflector, then activate the most distant deepest steps, which will banish a copy of Shift to add Ixape, which will special summon itself. And here we'll make Hyper Librarian and ladder to Arion Post. The reason I cut Hyper Librarian was just because I didn't have enough room. They're going to Freezing Curses to negate, which will banish an Ixape, Cyreflector, and Valor. They're going to draw a couple, then activate Runic Tip to add another Freezing Curses. We're just going to punch over the Hugin. Hugin gets returned to the extra deck. By the way, their Tip ripped a Paces for me, so I'm just completely okay with pretty much whatever they do. Like, what's the worst that they're going to do? Banish cards at the top. They're going to activate Destruction, but oh, this card has text on it. They're going to activate Slumber. We're going to activate Shift. They're going to activate Freezing Curses to try to negate Shift, but we'll make Ascon. I'm fine with this Slumber resolving. I don't really care. Ascon here is going to cut them on the Runic Fountain by banishing this Shift, and we're going to search a copy of Lifeless Leaffish for next turn. From here, it's really just an incredibly simple line to lethal. We're going to normal summon Leaffish. Leaffish is going to send Princess, I guess. We're going to go for Arion Post, banish the Paces. Shift is going to banish itself to summon Arion, to make Arion Post a little bit bigger. We're going to draw a 1, and wait, I had lethal here. Why did I not? I guess I just didn't see it in the moment. Alright, cool. You know what? We all make mistakes. I'm in such a commanding position, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's fine. We're fine. Our opponent's going to concede anyways. For our next game, we'll be going up against Runic Volcanic, a deck that I actually think is going to be very, very fun and very, very good when the Volcanic support comes out. Our opponent has drawn, I don't know if they've drawn very good or not. By the way, this game was played like the day that it got revealed. I don't know why, but for some reason on my Edo Pro client, it didn't display the text boxes for any of the cards. So I got the picture of the card, but I had to like squint and really strain my eyes, try to read like the grainy little picture of the card. So if I play suboptimally, just know it's because I legitimately could not read some of the effects. Like, trying to read Volcanic Emperor was hellish. My eyes still hurt. Anyways, we are on the play. We're going to normal summon Sire Reflector. Sire Reflector here is going to be grabbing Assault Beast. Assault Beast is going to pitch itself to add Assault Mode Activate. We're going to reveal Assault Mode Activate, summon back Assault Beast. As a level 7, we're going to make Stardust Dragon proper, set Assault Mode Activate, and pass. Our opponent's going to activate Volcanic Blade Accelerator. We're going to Assault Mode Activate. They're going to Slumber to Special Summon, which I don't mind at all. We're going to get Stardust Dragon Assault Mode. They're going to activate Hugin. We're going to negate that, just because I don't want them getting Fountain. New Chain Link 1 is going to be Hugin to add itself back, Chain 2, Grimfire to Mill. I don't think that's correct. They're going to normal summon Trooper, and we're going to Veiler that because it searches any Volcanic card. They're going to special summon Emperor, which is going to burn us for 500, and then set Inferno. Then they're going to set Flashing Fire. During the end phase, Assault Mode comes back, and that'll cost us 500 life points. We're going to normal summon Sire Reflector and attempt to add a card. They're going to Flashing Fire to special summon Sleipnir the Runic Main. Here we get Assault Mode Activate. They're going to summon a Runic Token. We're going to bring back Beast as a level 5 and then make Arion Post. We're taking just a ton of life points. Shift is going to be summoned, it's going to be banished, which will allow us to special summon Ixip. And we're just going to go to battle phase, or we're just going to go to end phase because I don't want to deal with Sleipnir. I don't feel like it's worth the life points. They're going to Runic Tip, banishing a Supe after we get Shift. They're going to go for Fire Rejection. We're going to go for Shift. They're going to go Sleipnir. We are going to chain... I don't believe we chain anything. They're going to Flashing Fire to destroy something, and we're going to negate that with Assault Mode, and they're going to chain Eruption Inferno, but they don't have any targets. They pop the Ixip. We summon Arion Post, and here in a new chain, they're going to mill. We're going to banish a Zep. They mill Volcanic Shell. Zep here is going to summon itself. We're going to take 500. Zep is going to activate an effect to Synchro. Volcanic Inferno is going to negate that. They're going to make Kita and then destroy Arion Post by milling Shell. During the end phase, we'll get our Arion Post that was banished by Sleipnir back, and then we'll get Assault Mode back. Assault Mode is going to, or Sleipnir is going to give them a token. We're going to call by the Shell here, and then make Dragite. Our opponent is going to burn us for a little bit, and here we are going to search a copy of Ixip. Ixip is going to special summon itself, and that's going to cost us some life points. We're going to normal summon Paces, and then make Barone. And after about 10 minutes of waiting, our opponent will disconnect because they just can't out 2 negates that threaten their board, which is just very funny to me. This deck fucks. This deck has sex. This deck solved World Hunger, created it again, and then solved it once more. This is the greatest deck of all time. I will be building it in paper, and none of you can stop me. I am so happy that fish are finally playable. I'm so happy that I can play Assault Mode proper in a somewhat real boy deck. This is awesome, and I love it, and it was so much fun to play. I'm going to keep playing it after this video. Oh my god, it's so cool. Alright, see ya.